Hello everybody, this is Elissa from Mink Arts and Crafts, and today I have a post review for you of Japde Pearls by Sybile Art. This is a Craft Ease kit, and this is my first finish from Craft Ease, and I was super excited to do this. Apologize, my dog and my cat are playing in the other room. Let me close my door real quick. Well, I have stuff blocking my door. I took advantage of the Prime Day deals and bought a bunch of cat toys, and you know those and the cat and the dog are fighting over the cat toy. So you may hear Mylin barking at Mochi because Mylin wants the cat toy and Mochi is playing with the cat toy. It's one of those like things with the ball inside that kind of goes around in circles. So if you hear the dog barking in the background, that's why. So anyways, this is my first finish from Craft Ease. I was super excited to do this because one of my favorite artists is Sybile Art. I love the paintings that she does. I love her artwork. I love her style. I love this look that she does because she's got that very soft, you can see this is a very, very soft image. And like the background is beautiful. So Japde Pearls, or as Craft Ease called it, Japde Pearls Glow, because they did chart this with glow in the dark drills. And I'm going to talk about what I did because I didn't want the glow in the dark drills. So I actually swapped them out. And this was the first kit that, well, not the first kit, but this is one of the kits that I decided to do my own bling with a little bit. Not nearly to the extent that I did with Ember. This was more like a selective swapping of some of the drills. And that was more, they did chart a fair number of special drills in this, which I liked a lot of the special drills that they had. I just didn't care for the look of the glow in the dark drills. So I wanted to remove those, and I'll talk about what I did with that. So this is a 45 by 55 centimeter canvas, poured glue obviously. And like the canvas itself, it feels really good. It's got like this soft backing. There's a little bit of my washi tape and stuff stuck to it. I have pets, so things get dirty. But the canvas feels really good. It doesn't have any of like the serged or poked edges, but I actually didn't have any issues with it fraying or anything like that. So this wasn't an issue with me. It was a nice feel to the canvas. Like I said, I didn't really have too much of an issue with the fraying. I guess maybe you could call this a little tiny bit of fraying here, but that to me is just like the fuzz on the back of the canvas more than anything. And that wasn't an issue for me. There were 22 colors. This is a round drill kit, and they did use the DMC codes for their drills. I started this one on the 1st of July, and I finished it on the 4th of July, and it took me 15 hours and 18 minutes. So it worked up really quickly because it is relatively small. It's that 45 by 55. I loved the image. Overall, the notes that I put, there was the one issue that I had as far as like readability. Like everything was super legible as far as how they the symbols that they used. I'll show you here what it was. Like the adhesive was fantastic. Loved the adhesive. No issues with the adhesive, no issues with the canvas itself. Those were both like 5 stars for me. And I feel like I'm pretty picky with some of that stuff. I didn't have any issues with the symbols except for the 4 that you can see right there. They had a 4. And then they also had an A, and the 4 and the A were very similar colors. You can see here the 4 is kind of a grayish blue, and then if you look at the A is also a grayish blue. And there were a number of areas where the 4 and the A were side by side, and that was I had to pay attention. So that was the one complaint that I had with some of their symbols. So the Craft Ease kits do not come, at least from with this one being the first one that I've done and all, did not come with sticker sheets. So, but the symbols were pretty straightforward. They do the alphanumeric, so 1 through 8, and then they rolled from that into like the A through whatever as they went down. So I remarked that the 4 and the A were pretty much next to each other, and they were too similar. This was my first finish for July, my 18th finish of all time. And I will talk to you, like the artwork, like they did a pretty good job with the rendering. This could have potentially blended, like this darker color that you see here could have potentially blended a little bit better and been a little softer, blending from here into this darker blue into the color next to it. But that's, again, like for me, it doesn't bother me seeing things like that because the overall look is good. And especially when you look and you see that, yes, she does have this very dark bluish gray on the back of her shoulder and then kind of in this armpit area. Those are really dark colors on the back of her arm, on the underside of her arm here. So they did chart that well. And then she does have that shadow on her neck and along her face. But they could have done a little bit, cut it a little bit left here and then kind of like mingled it into like a little bit of a, shaded it from this color into a color between these two and kind of fed it into those two, kind of interspersed with that, like, you know, that like kind of like how these kind of mingle into each other here with that speckly look. They could have done something similar with that color effect in this small area there to kind of soften those two tones. So that was the one thing that I would say rendering wise with how they rendered it that I think they could have done a little bit different. But otherwise, I mean, this is a small kit. They rendered it very well with how small of a kit this is. There were, let's see, there were 2 ABs. It was charted for 2 ABs, 3 glows, and 2 rhinestones. The ABs and the rhinestones, or the crystals, looked fine, no issues with those. But when I pulled out the glow drills, I don't know, I've never seen what a glow drill it looks like and prior to this kit. But I looked at it and I was like, I don't like, and this is what the drills all look like. And granted, I didn't use, some of the colors are leftovers because I didn't use the glow drills at all because I was like, I don't like the looks of these. So I'm not putting them in here. So it was charted for this pink glow drill, which the pink glow drill really didn't look horrible, but it was charted for this pink glow drill right here in this flower. So the swap that I did, I actually, instead of using that pink glow drill, I was like, you know what, it's not the same color, the same shade or anything, but I really don't care. So I just took, I had a pink glitter, which was actually glitter 718 from DP with Sparklers, and I took that glitter 718, this pink one right here, which is a much different tone, but you wouldn't even know, and that's what I used right here in this flower, this glitter drill. And I'll bring it up so you can see that closer up in a moment. So I did that swap right there. And then coming up over here, all of these greens that you see in her headdress, and then you'll see those same greens down into her wrap that you see down there. The cat's in a mood, so she may make an appearance. She's catting around because she's all hyped up from playing. But there was this green glow in the dark drill, which I think I was thrown off because the first glow in the dark drill I saw was the last one that I'm going to show you. But I was like, I don't know that I want glow in the dark drills. So I again used a glitter drill, which was pretty much almost like a really similar match green wise. So I was like, that'll work perfectly. So this is glitter 703 from DP with Sparklers that I already had in my stash. So I didn't have to buy any additional drills. I already had these sitting in my stash. So I used that for all of the green. And then the other swap that I did, I kind of like alternated with a few different things, but it was charted for this clear, the glow in the dark drill was charted, which to me, this drill looked really cheap almost, and I didn't like the look of it. And I'm like, I don't want to put that on my kit. To me, it just didn't give like the look that I wanted, because this drill was charted for, apologize for the ambulance in the background. This drill was charted for essentially, this is what was charted for everywhere that you see as like a white outline. So outlining her hair, outlining here, all of this as an outline around literally everything that is outlined in this entire kit, around her body, around all aspects of her dress, all the way down. every one of these lines, everything that you see outlined was this drill. And I did not like the look of this drill. And I'm like, I just, to me, I'm like, I know it was charted for it. And that was kind of like the look that this kit was supposed to be, was a glow-in-the-dark kit. But I didn't like the look of this drill. So I was like, I'm not using it. What do I have? And I kind of toyed with a couple of different ideas. I pulled out and I was like, you know, she's already got this in her face. She has some ABs up in her face and in her skin tones. She already has this U, which is 5200, so this white AB, which actually, like, with how I'm looking at it, it kind of gives it almost like a pinkish tone. So she's got 5200 white AB in her back, in her hair, in her, or not in her hair, but in her face and in her back and her neck. That AB that you're seeing there is all 5200 AB, and then in her arm coming down. So that was already charted. So I'm like, well, it wouldn't look abnormal for me to throw out and use another AB as the outline. So I actually used, instead of the glow in the dark, for her outline of her hair, and then for her face and her skin, so her arm, her hand here, and her arm there, and around her back, anything that was skin or hair, or basically anything that was up here in skin, I used AB 762. And that was this very pale gray that you see right here. So that's what I charted for that one. So that was the swap that I made to replace the glow in the dark up here. And I think that turned out very well. As you can see, it blended really well into the tones that you see up here. And it went well with it, because it was subtle enough that you can see it's just a slight enough difference tone-wise from like the blues and the white, and then into that gray. So I thought that went very well. And then I needed something that would add, like, I wanted a little bit of an accent to delineate her dress from her skin, because the way it was charted, her dress and her skin were all the same color outline. So I played around. I played down a couple different drills. I was between two different options. I was between this gold glitter drill. I was like, well, I could do this gold glitter drill, or I could do clear sparklers. And I was between the two of them, and I kind of did like a test patch over here in the corner where I laid down a few of the gold glitter, and then a few of the, like, I did about an inch up of the gold glitter, an inch up of the clear sparklers, and then I laid down the blue in between just so I could get a feel for what I liked better. And I looked at it and I was like, it's the clear sparklers all the way. That won out. And I left those there because I had already kitted them up as that was an idea. So I went with the clear sparklers for her dress. And that's what you can see outlining all of the dress down through here, which gives it this super, like, shimmery, like, deep, the depth. And that's what really, I feel like, makes the dress stand out as an accent. And to me, that's a big part of it, is it is such a vibrant piece. Looking back, if I would have thought it through a little bit more, I would have used the clear sparklers up on her headband up here around the headband itself, but I hadn't thought that far into it. But again, this is my first time being particular and not just doing a one-for-one every single one of that color swap. This is my first time kind of being selective on my swaps for drills. So I thought I was like, oh yeah, that works. And then the one other thing that I did do, so the way that this kit was charted, the glow drill that was charted right here cut all the way through right across her finger. And it's hard to tell, like, even the original artwork that you can see, her hand is a little weird, and it's hard to tell with, like, that. I don't like how the original artwork looks right here. It's like, okay, you have one finger that's showing, and then the rest is kind of weirdly shadowed. So I don't like the original artwork for her hand either, because it's like, is that supposed to be like you have a glove that's covering everything but one finger? I don't get it. So I didn't like the original artwork for her hand right through here either. So you can see that spot there. It's hard to tell, but So I can see why they just did the glow drill all the way down and across. So I laid the clear sparklers all the way across, and then I looked at it and I'm like, that just looks wrong. So then I removed those and I just laid down, and then I had to kind of try to, it doesn't look the best. From a distance it looks all rightish, but then I had to try to get creative and figure out a pseudo way to kind of chart this to make it kind of work without really sort of making it work. But I did the best I could and did it. Anyways, this was, overall, I was extremely pleased with it. I love, love, love Sybile Art's work. And I will definitely, I'll definitely be doing more of the Craft Easy's Sybile Art canvases. I do have more of her pieces in my stash from Crafties. I think the next one I want to do from them will probably be, I have a few that are squares, so I think the next one I want to do is a square, so that way I can see how their squares work up, because this is a round. But my experience with this was actually really pleasant. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I did my drill swaps. I really didn't have a horrible amount of trash. I love how it worked up with how they did the rendering in the background. I very much enjoyed how this turned out and how they did the color changing and all of that background right through there. There were just the minor things that, like I said, as far as some of this rendering right here, that could have been softer. The face doesn't bother me too much. I think it turned out well. And then like that little issue with the finger. But overall, I was very pleased with it. And like I said, I love Sybile Art's work. And it's like there's not a lot of places where you can go to get Sybile Art's work. So I was pleased with this. But that was all I had for you guys today on this post review. So you can go ahead and leave your comments down below and let me know what you think of this piece and these changes that I made here, and go from there. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you.